Most people never change, not because they can't, but because they avoid discomfort. They wait for motivation, cling to comfort, and waste time chasing the perfect moment. But real progress begins when you stop waiting and start acting. That's the Stoic path, and it's the path Miyamoto Musashi walked. Musashi, a legendary samurai and strategist, lived by brutal, timeless principles, many of which align perfectly with Stoic philosophy. In this video, we'll break down 8 of his most powerful strategies to help you grow faster, think clearer, and act with relentless purpose. If you're ready to stop drifting and start living with discipline and clarity, this is for you. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more Stoic insights that help you grow stronger every day. Now, let's dive in. 1. Burn the bridges. Eliminate all backup plans. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary samurai, understood something few people dare to accept today. Progress requires sacrifice. One of his most brutal yet effective teachings is this: burn the bridges behind you. Remove your safety nets. Eliminate the luxury of fallback options. Once you've chosen a path, you walk it with total commitment, as if your life depends on it. Because in a deeper sense, it does. This principle mirrors one of the hardest Stoic truths. You cannot grow while clinging to comfort. The Stoics taught that the person who wants to live well must be willing to face discomfort, difficulty, and even danger without flinching. Comfort breeds hesitation, and hesitation weakens the will. Epictetus put it plainly: it is impossible for a person to begin to learn that which he thinks he already knows. In the same way, it is impossible to grow if you believe you have an escape route. Growth demands pressure, pressure demands presence, and presence cannot coexist with the thought, if this gets hard, I'll just quit. Modern minds are conditioned to believe that having a plan B is wise. But wisdom, in the Stoic sense, doesn't come from having more options. It comes from having more resolve. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that everything external could be taken away, but his reason, his integrity, and his effort could not. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." When we build escape routes into our lives, we signal to ourselves that we do not truly believe in our capacity to endure. We subtly undermine our own strength. Burning the bridges doesn't mean acting impulsively or recklessly. It means committing completely once the decision has been made. It means removing the psychological crutches that keep you half-hearted, distracted, and divided. It means embracing the Stoic discipline of commitment, doing what you say you will do, no matter how uncomfortable it becomes. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." But when we keep a backup plan, we never fully meet those difficulties. We avoid the hardship, and in doing so, avoid the transformation. When you have no way back, you find strength you never knew you had. You dig deeper, you think more clearly, you act with urgency and discipline, you stop bargaining with yourself. In a world addicted to options, Musashi and the Stoics teach us to choose a higher path, the path of commitment. Not because it is easier, but because it is necessary. Burn the bridges not out of desperation, but out of discipline. Let it be a message to yourself: I am all in, because when there is no way back, the only way is forward, and that is where progress lives. 2. Learn in battle. Action over theory. Miyamoto Musashi's life was a continuous confrontation with the unknown. He didn't sharpen his skills by sitting in meditation halls or discussing sword techniques over tea. He entered more than 60 duels, each one real, each one potentially fatal. And through each fight, he refined his craft, sharpened his instincts, and deepened his understanding of the way. His second core principle for rapid progress is simple yet unforgiving. You must learn in battle. You must move from theory into action, from thought into experience. Otherwise, all your knowledge is dead weight. This is a deeply Stoic idea. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, made a clear distinction between the student of philosophy and the practitioner. He warned against becoming what he called a philosopher in words, not in deeds. He said, "Don't say you're a philosopher. Show me." The Stoics never believed that wisdom came from books alone. They believed wisdom came from living, especially living through hardship, resistance, and challenge. The Stoic life is a life of practice. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor responsible for ruling the most powerful empire of his time, kept a journal, not to theorize, but to remind himself how to live well in each moment. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In that same spirit, Musashi teaches us that growth doesn't come from endless planning, but from execution. From stepping into the unknown, making mistakes, learning on your feet, and adjusting with speed and humility. Modern life seduces us into thinking that preparation is progress. We read dozens of self-help books, watch tutorials, consume endless information, and then wonder why we still feel stuck. But reading about Stoicism is not the same as practicing it. Knowing what Musashi did is not the same as living like he did. Theory without action leads to paralysis. Action, even imperfect action, leads to wisdom. Seneca offers a warning here. Men learn while they teach. In other words, it is the doing, not the studying, that forges understanding. You don't become resilient by reading about courage. You become resilient by enduring failure, disappointment, and fear, and choosing to move forward anyway. You don't become disciplined by watching motivational videos. You become disciplined by doing the hard thing when no one is watching. Musashi stepped into real combat, and that's where he learned the truth. For us, the battle may not involve swords, but it is just as real. It might be launching the business before you feel ready, saying no to comfort when no one else will, or committing to a difficult path that terrifies you. The specifics change, but the principle holds. You must learn by doing. The Stoics did not view mistakes as shameful. They saw them as essential. Every failure, every setback, every challenge is training for the soul. You grow not despite these battles, but because of them. Musashi's life and Stoic philosophy both teach that we must not wait to be perfect. We must act now, refine through repetition, and trust that clarity will come through motion. So stop sitting on the sidelines. Stop hiding behind endless preparation. Step into the arena where it's messy, uncomfortable, and uncertain, because that is where true growth lives. Learn in battle. That is where the Stoic is forged. 3. Adapt or die. Embrace flexibility over rigidity. Miyamoto Musashi's legendary success was not just the product of skill or strength, but of his unparalleled ability to adapt. In every duel he fought, Musashi observed his opponent carefully, sensed the shifting conditions, and changed his tactics dynamically. He never relied on a fixed pattern or rigid system, knowing that inflexibility invites defeat. His third principle for rapid progress is stark and uncompromising: adapt or die. This isn't merely a battle strategy, it's a timeless life lesson. The world around us is in constant flux, and the moment we cling to rigidity, we stop growing, stagnate, and risk collapse. This principle sits at the very heart of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, recognize that the universe itself is a river of constant change. To resist it is to swim against the current and exhaust oneself. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Observe always that everything is the result of change, and get used to thinking that there is nothing stable except change itself." The wise person, he argued, accepts this reality not with resignation, but with active embrace. They bend with the winds of fortune rather than breaking under their force. Rigid mental frameworks, fixed habits, and unyielding beliefs often feel safe because they offer predictability. Yet they quietly imprison us in limitations and prevent true progress. It's tempting to cling to what feels familiar, the routines, the plans, the ways we have always done things. But such attachment is often a subtle form of resistance against growth. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic teachers, taught us to focus not on external events, but on our responses to them. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Adaptation is the Stoic's weapon against the unpredictable. Musashi's success came from his fluidity. He didn't fight the same way twice. He observed his opponent's weaknesses, adjusted his stance, and changed strategy mid-fight. This flexibility kept him unpredictable and in control. The Stoic must emulate this mindset in life. Instead of stubbornly clinging to plans, desires, or beliefs, we must remain open to change, ready to revise our thoughts and actions as circumstances shift. This adaptability is not a sign of weakness or indecision. On the contrary, it is the mark of wisdom and strength. To embrace change means to face reality honestly, to relinquish attachment to illusions, and to act in harmony with what is. The Stoics call this living according to nature, recognizing the impermanence of things and adjusting oneself accordingly. In practical terms, Musashi's teaching encourages us to continually evaluate and adjust our goals, methods, and mindset. If a strategy no longer works, discard it without hesitation. If a belief limits your growth, challenge it. If a routine becomes a chain, break free. Flexibility creates space for creativity, resilience, and renewed energy. It allows you to turn obstacles into opportunities and failures into lessons. Moreover, the Stoic ideal of amor fati, the love of fate, complements this principle perfectly. To love fate means to embrace whatever life brings, to accept change not as a curse but as a gift. When you adopt amor fati, you cease fighting the current and instead harness its force to propel yourself forward. On a deeper level, adapting is about mastering your mind and emotions. It's about recognizing when rigid attachments create unnecessary suffering and choosing to let go. Musashi and the Stoics both understood that the greatest battles happen within. Flexibility of mind, not just body, is essential to navigate life's uncertainties with grace. Remember, rigidity breeds brittleness. The tree that cannot sway with the wind will snap in the storm. The warrior who cannot adapt will fall to a more flexible opponent. Likewise, the person who clings stubbornly to outdated beliefs or habits will find their growth stunted. Musashi's lesson, backed by Stoic wisdom, is unambiguous. Progress demands flexibility. To move faster, you must embrace change, adjust constantly, and flow with life's currents rather than resist them. Adapt or die. Let flexibility be your strength and find growth in every change. 4. Cut the fat. Simplify and focus on what truly matters. Miyamoto Musashi was known for his minimalist approach. He carried no unnecessary weapons, relied on no superfluous techniques, and cut away all distractions to focus on the essence of combat, the decisive strike. His fourth principle for rapid progress is about clarity through simplicity. Cut the fat. Remove the excess and concentrate your energy only on what truly matters. This principle resonates profoundly with Stoicism's call to live a life of virtue and purpose, free from the clutter of desire and distraction. The Stoics taught that many of our difficulties arise from chasing external things that do not contribute to our inner good. Seneca warned against the insatiable appetite for more wealth, more comfort, more approval, which only leads to anxiety and dissatisfaction. Instead, he urged us to cultivate self-control and to recognize that true wealth comes from within. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor, Seneca wrote. In the same way, Musashi's advice to cut the fat means stripping away anything that does not serve your highest goal. In practice, this might mean reducing the number of projects you juggle, eliminating unnecessary habits, or simplifying your daily routine to focus on the core tasks that produce real results. Complexity often breeds confusion and indecision, while simplicity sharpens the mind and empowers decisive action. Marcus Aurelius embodied this principle in his own life. As emperor, he could have indulged in luxury and excess, but he chose restraint. He reminded himself, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This relentless focus on what is good, true, and necessary helped him lead with wisdom amid chaos. Cutting the fat also applies to our thoughts and emotions. Stoicism teaches us to examine our judgments and discard those that are irrational or unhelpful. We tend to overthink, overfeel, and overcomplicate our experiences. By practicing mental clarity, removing false beliefs and emotional excess, we cultivate tranquility and sharpen our ability to act effectively. Musashi's principle and Stoic wisdom together teach us that progress accelerates when we simplify. When you eliminate distractions and focus on the essentials, your energy multiplies, your decisions become clearer, and your execution becomes more powerful. This is the difference between scattered effort and relentless focus. So ask yourself, what in your life is unnecessary? What habits, worries, or obligations are weighing you down? What mental clutter keeps you from seeing your path clearly? Cut these away. Focus on what truly matters, your principles, your purpose, and your action. By cutting the fat, you create space for growth, clarity, and mastery. The warrior who fights with a clean sword and clear mind will always move faster than the one weighed down by excess. Simplify, focus, and cut the fat. This is how you sharpen your progress and your life. 5. Develop ruthless self-discipline. Depend on discipline, not motivation. Miyamoto Musashi's mastery was built on relentless self-discipline. He trained his mind and body every day, not waiting for moments of inspiration or bursts of motivation. His fifth principle is clear. Develop ruthless self-discipline. Discipline is the foundation that supports all progress, especially when motivation fades or circumstances become difficult. Stoicism places immense value on self-discipline as a core virtue. The Stoics taught that we are responsible for our choices and actions, regardless of external events. Epictetus emphasized, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom, in the Stoic sense, comes from governing your impulses, desires, and emotions through reason and willpower. Unlike fleeting motivation, which is unreliable and often tied to emotions, discipline is a steady, unwavering commitment to what must be done. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that you don't need to be motivated to act, you just need to do your duty. When you have assumed these names, good, modest, truthful, rational, a man of equanimity, and magnanimous, take care that you do not change these names, and if you should lose them, quickly return to them. This return is only possible through disciplined practice. In practical terms, ruthless self-discipline means setting clear boundaries and routines, then following through even when you don't feel like it. It means doing the work on days when motivation is absent, when distractions call, or when challenges loom large. Musashi's daily training was a testament to this. He honed his skills not because he was always inspired, but because he was committed. This principle also teaches us to prioritize long-term progress over short-term comfort. The Stoics counseled that pleasure is not the goal of life. Virtue and wisdom are. That often requires sacrifice, restraint, and a willingness to endure discomfort. As Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Discipline enables us to embrace these difficulties instead of avoiding them. Ruthless. Self-discipline is what allows you to burn bridges, learn in battle, adapt, and cut the fat with consistency. Without it, even the best principles falter. With it, you build momentum that no obstacle can stop. Remember, progress is not a matter of occasional inspiration, but daily commitment. Stoicism teaches that the highest good is not pleasure or ease, but the excellence of character achieved through disciplined effort. Develop ruthless self-discipline. Let it be the steady engine that drives your progress, regardless of how you feel. 6. Control your mind. Master your emotions and focus. Miyamoto Musashi understood that true mastery begins not with the sword, but with the mind. His sixth principle for rapid progress is about total mental control. Control your mind by eliminating distractions and mastering your emotions. Without this inner discipline, even the greatest skills and strategies falter under pressure. This principle aligns deeply with Stoic philosophy, which holds that the mind is the seat of freedom and power. Epictetus famously said, "No person is free who is not master of themselves." For the Stoics, external events are beyond our control, but how we perceive and respond to them is entirely up to us. Mastery over one's own mind is therefore the key to living a good and flourishing life. Musashi's battlefield was a place of extreme stress and chaos. If he allowed fear, anger, or distraction to take hold, defeat was inevitable. Similarly, the Stoics teach us that emotions like anger, anxiety, and despair are not caused by events themselves, but by our judgments about those events. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Controlling your mind means developing awareness of your thoughts and emotions and training yourself to respond rationally rather than react impulsively. It requires mindfulness, being fully present in the moment, and the ability to detach from harmful or distracting impulses. It also means setting firm boundaries around your attention, protecting it from endless distractions in today's world. Musashi's focus was razor sharp because he cultivated a calm, clear mind. When distractions arise, he would return his attention to the present task without hesitation. This kind of mental discipline is what allows relentless execution, rapid learning, and true adaptation. In practical terms, controlling your mind might mean daily meditation, journaling to understand your thoughts, or practicing Stoic reflection to identify irrational beliefs. It means recognizing when your emotions cloud judgment and intentionally choosing reasoned responses. It means simplifying your mental landscape so clarity can thrive. When you master your mind, you become resilient against fear, doubt, and frustration. You build an inner fortress that no external chaos can breach. This mental control empowers every other principle, whether it's burning bridges, cutting the fat, or executing relentlessly. The Stoics remind us that the mind is our most valuable possession. To progress faster than others, you must cultivate this inner mastery above all else. Control your mind, master your emotions, focus relentlessly, and nothing can stop your progress. 7. Die every day. Embrace constant renewal and growth. Miyamoto Musashi's 7th principle for rapid progress is both profound and challenging. Die every day. This doesn't mean a physical death, but a metaphorical one. The daily shedding of old habits, limiting beliefs, and outdated versions of yourself. To progress rapidly, you must be willing to constantly reinvent and improve yourself, leaving behind who you were yesterday to become who you need to be today. This principle is deeply aligned with Stoic teachings on impermanence, self-examination, and personal transformation. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." The Stoics understood that life is short and that time is our most precious resource. They urged us to live deliberately, shedding attachments and habits that no longer serve our growth. Dying every day means practicing a form of daily mortality awareness, recognizing that each day is a fresh opportunity to improve or fall behind. It means rejecting complacency and habitual thinking, and instead embracing change and renewal. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." To grow, you must close the door on yesterday's self. Musashi's life was a constant journey of self-improvement. He did not rest on past victories, but continually refined his skills and mindset. The Stoics similarly encouraged constant self-reflection. Each morning was an opportunity to set intentions. Each evening, to review actions and correct errors. This principle also calls for emotional resilience. Dying every day means letting go of ego, pride, and attachment to outcomes. It means accepting failure and criticism as vital parts of growth rather than threats. The Stoics taught that obstacles are opportunities to practice virtue and strengthen character. Practically, this might look like daily journaling to examine your thoughts and actions, consciously discarding bad habits, or challenging yourself to step out of comfort zones regularly. It means cultivating humility and a learner's mindset, always open to change and improvement. By embracing this principle, you avoid stagnation and maintain relentless forward momentum. You build a mindset where growth is continuous and necessary, and where you become ever more aligned with your highest potential. Die every day. Let go of the old self, embrace renewal, and keep evolving. This is how you progress faster than anyone else. 8. Master relentless execution. Take immediate action and learn fast. The final principle Miyamoto Musashi lived by is ruthless execution. Knowing what to do is only half the battle. The other half is taking immediate, decisive action without hesitation. Musashi believed in acting swiftly, learning from failures quickly, and eliminating decision fatigue by committing fully to each step. This relentless execution fuels rapid progress and separates the successful from the stagnant. Stoicism reinforces this through its emphasis on prohairesis, our power of choice and deliberate action. Epictetus taught that while we cannot control external events, we can always control how we respond. He said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." This means knowledge is meaningless without action. True wisdom is shown through consistent, purposeful behavior. Musashi's battles were won because he didn't overthink or hesitate. He trusted his training, committed fully to each move, and adapted as he went. This eliminated wasted energy on doubt or second-guessing. Likewise, Marcus Aurelius advised, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Progress demands execution, not endless contemplation. Relentless execution also involves embracing failure as a teacher. Musashi learned from every mistake, refining his approach with each attempt. The Stoics viewed obstacles and failures as opportunities to practice virtue and build resilience. Seneca said, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." By acting boldly and learning quickly, you reduce the fear of failure and accelerate growth. Finally, eliminating decision fatigue means simplifying choices and focusing your energy on what matters most. Musashi cut distractions to maintain clarity and speed in action. Stoicism teaches similar discipline, to prioritize what is within your control and not waste energy on what is not. To master relentless execution, cultivate habits that push you to act now. Break tasks into manageable steps, set deadlines, and hold yourself accountable. Reflect regularly to learn from outcomes, then adjust and move forward without delay. Master relentless execution. Act decisively, learn from failure, and keep moving. This is the engine of unstoppable progress. Thank you for watching and diving deep into Miyamoto Musashi's timeless principles through the lens of Stoic philosophy. Remember, rapid progress isn't about luck or shortcuts. It's about mastering your mind, cutting away distractions, and relentlessly executing with discipline and purpose. If you found this video valuable, please make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss insights that can transform your life. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear how you apply these principles in your journey. Now go out there, take control, and progress faster than anyone else. See you in the next video.